Hello YouTube vintage stereo collectors and restorers. On the right is a C458 that I pulled out of this K2500 out of the phono section here. And I'm using a 2N3904, and there's quite a few different ones you can use. I find the 3904 is low noise enough that it's an improvement, always improvement. C458 had black lead disease and sounded pretty bad. Now you're wondering, why is that new transistor wearing trousers? Well, I used to just they're just little bits of, the tubing that you use, shrink wrap tubing. I used to only do that on things that had a chance of rubbing together. Like let's say right here, okay? I replaced the oil caps and the original rectifiers, and I built a set of each here, and I used red shrink wrap so that, if they get pushed together too hard, they're not going to short out. And there was a type of plastic on the original ones from the factory. In this kind of area, I would always use it. Now I use it on transistors all the time. And one of the interesting things is the pin out on these C458s. So this is an EBC and this is a CBE, so it's a little bit off. I use the schematic, and there's usually on these Kenwoods, there's markings, and on other brands, the dot is the collector. And then if you have a schematic, you can always look and see what the orientation of the transistor is. I put them in because sometimes, because it's a different pin out, you have to give the transistor a bit of a twist to fit in there. And I've had that where I've given it a twist, like lined up EBC, and given it a bit of a twist, and then shorted out the transistor. So now whenever I put a transistor in, I put this on the leads. And there's actually a second reason, is when you put the transistor in these boards, especially these vintage Kenwood, let's spin it around here, you'll see what I mean. The older ones, where you have this kind of soldering. So the lead comes through, it's bent over, and the whole foil is soldered. Over here is a fiberglass board. It's just bent over and soldered. It's a little different type of board. Either way, there's a little bit of tension on the lead. So what I do is I push it through from the other side, bend it over, like here for instance, bend them over, and then just the fact that you have a bit of that tubing on the other side, the transistor won't pull all the way through, so the lead length is uniform. So you push it in, you hold a little tension on the other side, fold them down, solder them, put the little anti-oscillation cap back on. It holds it in place really solidly, so it just makes it easier to work with. I think I dumped my transistor on the floor. Anyway, that's my little tip. Some of these boards here, like this one here, have patience with them because they don't take to desoldering that well. The foil will lift, and covered this before. Anyway, thanks for watching and listening.